The unthinkable has happened.
Now we know why Chicago skipped the Barbie theme night. Angel Reese is reportedly heading to Atlanta in a trade that looks shockingly one-sided, though the warning signs were there.
This is the biggest fleece I have ever seen in basketball.
Some people are calling the Chicago Sky the real winners, while Atlanta Dream fans are understandably nervous about whether this move could disrupt a team with legitimate championship ambitions. There's also renewed talk about the Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese rivalry, but this trade could actually change that storyline completely. So, do you think Angel will succeed in Atlanta? Drop a Y for yes or an N for no. Now, here's why this trade caught so many people off guard. Atlanta reportedly sent its 2027 and 2028 first-round picks, along with a swap of 2028 second-round selections, to acquire Reese. At first glance, that package doesn't look overwhelming. Atlanta is already a competitive team, meaning those future first-round picks could land outside the top tier of the draft. If the Dream remain in the upper half of the standings, those selections may not become franchise-changing assets. Atlanta also didn't have to surrender an established player to make the deal happen, which makes the trade even more intriguing. And there's another important detail. Before the expansion draft, Atlanta reportedly made a draft pick move to protect its roster. That decision now looks especially significant because protecting Angel Reese appears to have been a major priority.
I'm going to say this right now. I think we now know why Chicago sent those picks to Toronto, not to core any of the, not to take any of their players, because they had this coming up. They didn't want to core Angel Reese, but they knew if they left her uncored, Toronto or Portland would have taken her. She would have left for nothing.
In my view, Atlanta essentially gained 2 late first-round picks while giving up an earlier second-round selection for Angel Reese, which isn't an impressive haul. That's why the debate over who won this trade gets interesting, with Stephen A. calling it a major victory.
Clearly, she's valuable. She thinks that they think that she could be valuable for them. It's going to put her in a winning situation. Her personality is just vibrant, where, you know, the Atlanta community will magnetize themselves towards her. I like the situation for Angel Reese personally. I'm very, very happy for her.
Getting out of Chicago could be a win for Angel Reese by itself, especially after the struggles surrounding the Sky. But whether this becomes a true success depends on one crucial factor, and if she can't handle it, the move could backfire badly. From an optics standpoint, consider the reaction if Caitlin Clark were traded for 2 late first-round picks. Her supporters would immediately argue that her value had dropped and critics would have a field day. That comparison highlights why the Clark-Reese rivalry narrative becomes harder to defend from a pure basketball and market value perspective. It's difficult to imagine Indiana trading Clark for a package like that. Yet the rivalry conversation probably won't disappear because the WNBA has benefited enormously from the attention surrounding both players. There's also a reason Reese's trade return may have been relatively modest. Her previous season included circumstances that could have affected how teams viewed her value, including performance, availability, and overall fit. Now Atlanta gives her an opportunity to reset, rebuild her reputation, and prove that her true value is much higher.
She did everything in her. She sat down. She wouldn't play. You name it. Honestly, drowned her teammates. What made you think she wanted to be there?
Angel Reese's situation in Chicago reportedly became complicated after she publicly criticized the Sky's roster and suggested management needed to surround her with better players to compete. Her comments were also interpreted as questioning whether veterans such as Courtney Vandersloot, who later suffered an ACL injury, fit into the team's future. Things escalated when Reese was suspended for a half and remained on the bench, creating an unusual and uncomfortable scene. She later dealt with back problems and missed the remainder of the season, making it increasingly difficult to imagine her returning to Chicago. When a young star publicly questions the quality of championship-level veterans and all-stars around her, rebuilding that relationship can become extremely difficult. There were also some interesting signs surrounding the league's scheduling and promotion. Last season, the Fever and Sky met 5 times, including on opening night, while this season their matchup was scheduled much later. Chicago also didn't have the same Barbie-themed promotion that had previously attracted significant attention, despite Reese's Bayou Barbie and Chi Barbie branding. Meanwhile, Atlanta appeared excited about the acquisition, with reported ticket prices rising after the announcement. Still, some Dream fans have understandable concerns. On the court, I don't think Reese's talent is the biggest question. She showed improvement after a rough start last season and remains capable of producing valuable numbers. The bigger issue is how she fits into Atlanta's existing locker room. In Chicago, Reese was one of the central figures and had considerable influence within the team. Atlanta, however, already built a successful identity without her and has legitimate championship aspirations. That changes the dynamics considerably. Reese will have to enter an established environment rather than becoming the unquestioned centerpiece. She'll need to adapt to teammates, coaching expectations, and a system that was already working before she arrived. The Dream may welcome her talent, but chemistry will be crucial. If Reese embraces the new environment, accepts her role, and focuses on helping Atlanta win, this trade could become an excellent opportunity for her career. But if previous locker room tensions follow her to Atlanta, the situation could become complicated quickly. The real test won't simply be whether Angel can produce on the court. It will be whether she can successfully fit into a team that already knows how to compete.
Atlanta fans about to complain over her trying to be the #1 option and ball handler. Oh, this is a good question right here. What happens to Ryan Howard? What happens to Alicia Gray? What happens to Jordan Canada? What happens to Brittany Griner?
Angel Reese needs to make this Atlanta opportunity work, and that means being on her best behavior from a team culture standpoint. She can't afford another situation where locker room tensions become the headline. Her former teammate Kennedy Carter is often cited as an example of how quickly things can go wrong when relationships inside a team deteriorate. Reese will need to listen to veteran teammates, adapt to the coaching staff, and put the team's goals ahead of personal frustrations. That may be easier said than done, but Atlanta represents a fresh start. There are also concerns about the reaction surrounding her fan base. Some Atlanta supporters are worried that a portion of Reese's fans could bring unnecessary online drama or attack teammates and critics. If those internal and external pressures become too much, some people may argue that Chicago actually benefited simply by moving on. It will be fascinating to see whether the Sky perform better without Reese. Ideally, this trade allows Angel to reset her career and move beyond the constant Caitlin Clark comparison. Ironically, though, the move could give the WNBA another reason to revive that rivalry narrative.
But if you take a look at the schedule this year, well, Clark and the Fever face the Dream as many times as they do any other team. They play the Liberty 4 times and the Dream 4 times, which sets the seeds for a new rivalry. I'm not even joking around, simply because obviously there's the Clark and Reese factor, but then there's the fact that the Fever bounced the Dream from the playoffs last year, not to mention that interaction that Clark and Ryan Howard had.
The WNBA will undoubtedly capitalize on the storyline. Even if Angel isn't Atlanta's top player, the 4 scheduled matchups against Caitlin Clark will attract major attention, especially if both teams remain competitive. The league will have every reason to promote them heavily.
And there's no way either that Atlanta is Angel Reese's first choice. I'm sorry, like no facility or no like major facility. They don't even play on a wooden court. They play in front of 3,000 fans. There is no way in hell that this was the first choice for Angel Reese either. Maybe Angel did not want to go to Atlanta and you trade her out of spite.
Angel Reese remains one of the WNBA's biggest young stars, with a massive social following and plenty of room to develop. Yet Chicago received little in return. Atlanta may offer less spotlight, but this move could ultimately become the best opportunity for her.
With the franchise, but when you look at her fit in Atlanta, assuming they can keep the rest of that roster intact, they didn't give anything up to get her. And they've still got Alicia Gray and Ryan Howard if they keep them in free agency. And they're the perfect type of players to complement Angel because they spread the floor and allow her to do what she does best naturally, which is hit the boards and impact the game with defensive versatility.
But as I said, everything depends on one major question. Can Angel Reese accept that she may not be the top player in Atlanta right away? Can she embrace being a teammate, respect the veterans, and avoid repeating the conflicts that created problems in Chicago? This move will reveal a lot. We'll learn how much of Chicago's dysfunction was connected to Reese by comparing how the Sky performed without her and whether Atlanta improves or struggles. Either way, this is a fascinating development to watch. If you made it this far, drop a trophy in the comments. Thanks for watching.